It has been just under a year since I was appointed Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment. I assumed this role knowing full well the responsibility that comes with it, to care for South Africa's natural heritage, to contribute to inclusive economic growth, and to ensure our country is an effective and respected player in global environmental matters. We are a country blessed with extraordinary biodiversity, abundant marine resources, rich forestry assets, and the most beautiful landscapes in the world. These are not just natural wonders to admire, they are also the foundation for job creation, tourism, food security, sustainable livelihoods, and scientific advancements. This afternoon, I want to walk you through the major milestones we've achieved in the last year and share our vision for what comes next. When I took office just 1 year ago, I did so as part of a new chapter in our democratic journey, the formation of the Government of National Unity. This arrangement, though new in form, is rooted in the very foundation of our democracy, where inclusive dialogue, multi-party cooperation, and mutual respect are essential tools for progress. Serving in this government has required us all to work collaboratively, sometimes across vastly different perspectives, towards a common goal, delivering real outcomes for the people of South Africa. Within this unity framework, my responsibility has been clear: to ensure that our natural environment is not only protected, but that it becomes an engine for sustainable growth, jobs, and opportunity. The Government of National Unity has created an environment where departments are increasingly working across silos, where ideas are strengthened through debate and collective intelligence, and where the urgency of service delivery is matched by a shared will to get things done. We've approached our work with a recognition that our environmental mandate is not separate from the economic one or the social one. They are deeply interconnected. In this spirit of constructive partnerships, I'd like to thank my colleagues, Deputy Ministers Mr. Naran Singh and Ms. Bernice Swartz, who have worked with me with integrity and care in this new terrain. I also extend my appreciation to the officials of the department and its entities for your professionalism, your dedication, and your openness in doing things differently. Let me begin by outlining the key areas of work we have prioritized. Number one, protecting our natural resources and wildlife. One of our most significant achievements to date is the protection of the African penguin, a critically endangered species. After learning about the sharp population declines and the human impacts causing them, I called for open, lawyer-free discussions that brought together conservation organizations like BirdLife South Africa and SANCOB, industry leaders in the fishing sector, and our departmental experts. This collaborative approach led to a court-ordered agreement to implement island closures around key breeding colonies. We amended the small pelagic fishery permit conditions to enforce these closures, ensuring sustainable fishing near vital penguin habitats. The changes were implemented almost immediately and reflect how negotiation and sound science can lead to outcomes that support both nature and people. We are also tackling the impact of bunkering in Algoa Bay near St. Croix Island, once home to the largest African penguin colony in the world. Ship-to-ship refueling has caused devastating oil spills and underwater noise pollution. Following a temporary pause on bunkering activities in 2023, we saw a small but promising recovery in the penguin population. I will soon sign new regulations into law that place strict limits on bunkering in ecologically sensitive areas. In the fight against poaching and illegal wildlife trade, we are making meaningful progress. A coordinated approach has led to successful prosecutions and a continued decline in rhino poaching incidents. We've also turned our attention to species like pangolin and abalone. The domestic trade of rhino horn, lion bone, and lion parts is under consideration. The lives of these animals are not commodities. They are a vital part of our ecological and cultural identity. Number two, driving economic growth through environmental reform. Many South Africans don't yet realize the economic potential of the environment sector. Our efforts are showing that we can create jobs, stimulate new industries, and unlock growth while caring for the planet. In the fourth quarter of 2024, the agriculture, forestry, and fishing sector recorded a remarkable 17.2% growth, contributing 2/3 to the total GDP growth for that quarter. In the first quarter of 2025, these sectors grew by 15.8%. These are not just numbers, they reflect thousands of jobs and livelihoods sustained. We increased the number of fish species available to small-scale fishers by 36%, boosting income in coastal communities. Our harbour revitalisation program has created over 2,300 work opportunities with a goal of turning underused harbours into thriving economic hubs. And through expanded support for sustainable aquaculture, we're seeing green technology spark new enterprises along our coasts. This is what inclusive growth looks like. Number 3, taking decisive climate action. We can all see the impact of climate change. The recent floods in KwaZulu-Natal and Umtata are just the latest signs that the time for talk is over. That's why we finalized the Climate Change Response Plan for Coastal Adaptation, known as CARP. This plan guides how we support vulnerable municipalities and communities facing rising sea levels and extreme weather conditions. We also secured conditional emissions exemptions for Eskom's operations under the minimum emission standards. Let me be clear, these are not blanket waivers. Each exemption comes with firm conditions, including health interventions for affected communities, real-time emissions monitoring, and a firm commitment to transition to cleaner energy sources. We are holding polluters accountable. In addition, we're working with the Presidency and the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy to develop a competitive power market, bringing independent power producers into the fold. The goal is clear: to deliver both energy security and environmental sustainability. Number 4, promoting international leadership and environmental diplomacy. South Africa has a proud tradition of contributing to international environmental governance, and we continue to lead. We played a major role in negotiating the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction Agreement, known as the High Seas Treaty, the first legally binding instrument to protect biodiversity in areas beyond national borders. I am proud to announce that we will ratify this treaty within the next year. At the most recent COP29 in Baku, South Africa brokered a deal that balanced the need for ambitious climate action with the reality of our economic conditions. This agreement unlocked green investment for local projects that will support our just transition. And in our G20 presidency year, we are hosting major environment and climate sustainability meetings, positioning South Africa as a leader on the African continent and beyond. These engagements not only strengthen our global voice, but also attract investment and expertise. Number 5, streamlining governance and reducing bureaucracy. A key focus area for me has been making our systems more efficient, transparent, and responsive. We launched the Regulatory Efficiency Strategy for Environmental Turbocharge, or RESET. It's a set of reforms to speed up approvals for energy and infrastructure projects while still protecting the environment. We've identified 11 renewable energy development zones where environmental impact assessments are significantly simplified, reducing approval times from 300 days to 147. For lower sensitivity areas, we've introduced fast-tracked authorizations that can be processed in around 70 days. We also developed the National Web-Based Environmental Screening Tool. It's already helping developers identify low-impact sites for projects, streamlining planning and protecting biodiversity. And since July 2024, I have finalized 162 environmental appeals, 106 of them since our 100-day feedback session. This is a testament to our commitment to fairness, transparency, and turnaround times. Number 6, strengthening institutions and financial sustainability. We're operating in a constrained fiscal environment, but we are not sitting still. We launched a departmental spending review and implemented firm cost containment measures. But more importantly, we have begun thinking creatively about revenue generation. Each branch of our department is tasked with identifying savings and new funding streams. We're exploring international donor support for enforcement and anti-poaching, developing innovative financial mechanisms for green projects, and working with Treasury on sustainable budget models. At the same time, we're reforming key institutions. SAFCOL, Sandparks, and the South African Weather Services are receiving strategic attention to address governance weaknesses and boost their impact. We also celebrated the achievement of a clean audit at Isimangaliso Wetland Park, a symbol of what good governance can look like across our sector. Alongside these priorities, we've initiated flagship projects to elevate South Africa's environmental brand, improve delivery, and stimulate economic opportunity. First, the Kruger-Kirstenbosch Isimangaliso Icon Status Strategy, or KISS. This project is modernizing and elevating our most iconic parks and gardens. Kirstenbosch was recently named one of the top 10 botanical gardens in the world. In Pretoria, we launched the Children's Edutainment Centre, and this week we'll unveil the new Dinosaur Interpretive Centre at Golden Gate National Park. These projects are designed not just to educate and inspire, but to drive tourism and create jobs. Second, our G20 Environmental Showcase program, which leverages international attention to highlight South Africa's conservation work. We're hosting key G20 meetings at Kruger and Kirstenbosch, linking environmental excellence with global diplomacy. These moments elevate our global status and bring local benefits. Third, the National Carbon Credits and Biodiversity Offset Framework. We're finalizing this strategy to position South Africa as a leader in the green economy. It will allow companies to offset emissions responsibly while directing funds into conservation and community development. Lastly, our polar research vessel, the SA Gullis 2, continues to position South Africa as a leader in ocean science. On recent expeditions to the Southern Ocean, our researchers made important progress in tracing microplastic pollution far beyond our shores. These findings reveal how even the most remote and fragile ecosystems are being affected by human activity and underscore the urgency of stronger global and national marine protection efforts. This cutting-edge research strengthens our environmental policy, informs global scientific collaboration, and reinforces South Africa's role as a serious contributor to international climate and ocean governance. In conclusion, this year has laid the foundation for a greener, more inclusive, and more dynamic environmental future for South Africa. We've protected endangered species, empowered coastal communities, cleaned up systems, strengthened institutions, and affirmed our leadership on the world stage. There is still more work to do, but with a clear direction and the right team behind us, I'm confident we'll continue to deliver results. I invite all South Africans to be part of this journey. Protecting our environment is not just the job of government. It is a national cause that defines who we are and what we leave behind for future generations. Thank you.